Hello dear friends, myself Professor Kodadari Rishikesh and you are watching Life Sciences Studies channel. This lecture video is continuing lecture on carbohydrate. In previous part we have discussed about the hemiacetal, especially the monomer unit of carbohydrate. For that we have given the name hemiacetal because the reaction we have studied in previous lecture. In that we also studied about epimer, isomer and anomer differences. So today we are continuing our discussion, especially when two hemiacetal comes together. In previous lecture we seen that how hemiacetal form. Hemiacetal word indicates hemiacetal means half acetal. Obviously when two half acetal comes together it will create acetal. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss about when two hemiacetal comes together or more than two hemiacetal comes together. In simple words we can say hemiacetal means monosaccharide. When two monosaccharide comes together or more than two monosaccharide comes together, they will create disaccharide and polysaccharide as I have highlighted here. Disaccharide means in which you will have two monomer unit and polysaccharide in which we have many monomer units. Instead of monomers we should say hemiacetal. So when we talk about disaccharide or polysaccharide, these are acetal structure. You have to remember this. I am highlighting this point again and again. In reference books, in competitive exam, they use such words. So it creates confusion in students' minds. That's why we should be familiar with these types of words. So here we have disaccharide. In that we will discuss about especially the sucrose molecule, maltose molecule, lactose molecule. In polysaccharide we will discuss about the starch, glycogen, peptidoglycan, cellulose and chitin like structure. So here I am highlighting these points because these topics we are going to discuss in a detail. So first of all, when two hemiacetal comes together, as I have highlighted here, they will join together by a specific type of linkage. When sugar joins to another sugar, they will create linkage. This linkage is known as glycosidic linkage and it involves oxygen atom. That's why it is known as O-glycosidic linkage. Always and always D type of sugar molecules are involved in this linkage. And here you have to mention that O-glycosidic linkage is present here. But what is so specific about this is need to be understand here. The glycosidic linkage or O-glycosidic linkage can be of two types. Either we will have alpha O-glycosidic linkage or we will have beta O-glycosidic linkage. So here is the difference on structural point of view. On that side I have shown you that the linkage and linkage type which is involving oxygen atom, the orientation of linkage is very much important to highlight here. The two diagram indicates the differences in alpha and beta linkage. Please recall in first lecture we have discussed about the anomer structure where we have discussed about the alpha and beta type of anomers. On what basis we are calling them as alpha and beta? The carbon number 1 after hemiacetal formation, after cyclization, when OH group is present above the carbon number 1, it is a beta type of sugar. When it is present below the carbon number 1, it is alpha type of sugar. So here we have alpha and beta O-glycosidic linkage. This point I wanted to highlight here. So once this hemiacetal comes together, they will definitely going to create acetal. First we will discuss about the disaccharide. So with example of disaccharide, we will discuss more about the acetal formation with the O-glycosidic linkage. So here the first example is a lactose sugar. Lactose sugar consisting only two hemiacetals. Means lactose is an acetal in which you will have two hemiacetals which are jointed together. So lactose is disaccharide in which we have two monosaccharides. Which two monosaccharides are here? We will have galactose and glucose. Two monosaccharides are present here. But you have to mention the which type of bond is present between galactose and glucose. The bond between galactose and glucose is always beta 1,4 type of linkage is here. So in case of lactose sugar, you have to remember that here you have beta 1,4 type of linkage is present. Where this lactose occurs, lactose sugar present in milk, everyone knows about it. So this lactose sugar is disaccharide in which you have galactose and glucose which are linked together What to remember here is very important. You have to remember that here you have beta 1,4 type of linkage is present. Please remember this, beta 1,4 type of linkage. Then you have to write in this fashion, beta in bracket 1,4 and then O glycosidic bond you have to write after that. In sucrose molecule we are having second example. In sucrose molecule, this is also a disaccharide in which we have glucose and fructose monomers. These glucose and fructose are connected to each other by alpha 1,2 glycosidic bond. Why 1 and 2? Why not 1 and 4? If you see clearly, the glucose and fructose are facing to each other. That's why the carbon number 1 and carbon number 1 of glucose and fructose are facing to each other. That's why they will show the carbon number 2 of fructose and carbon number 1 of glucose are involved in this bond, and this bond is showing the oxygen linkage at the bottom side. That's why it is alpha 1,2 O glycosidic linkage in sucrose molecule. So we have seen the lactose and sucrose. The another third example is a maltose sugar. Maltose involves two glucose molecules in which it is very easy, alpha 1,4 type of linkage is present. We have discussed about the disaccharide molecules. I think there is nothing difficult to remember in this. We will discuss more about the polysaccharide here, and this will be the main highlighting point of this lecture. The polysaccharide, I would like to tell you that, are of two types. This polysaccharide mainly consisting many monomers. Many monomers are comes together to create these types of polysaccharide. As image is presenting here, that it's showing that many monosaccharides are involved here. But if all monomers who are involved in polysaccharide are of one type, please listen carefully. If all monomers which are involved in polysaccharide formation are of one type, one structure, then it is known as homopolysaccharide. And if polysaccharide consists different types of monomers, then it is known as heteropolysaccharide. Again, this homopolysaccharide and heteropolysaccharide, as I have made distinction here, are of again two different types. Either they may be unbranched or branched. Means homopolysaccharide may be unbranched or may be branched, and heteropolysaccharide also may be unbranched or branched. So why there is branching and why some polysaccharide are showing unbranching is the point of discussion. Mainly we will discuss these points with the help of example. First we will discuss about which are the polysaccharide. Polysaccharides are mainly the storage polysaccharide and structural supporting polysaccharide. There are two types of polysaccharide, mainly the storage creating polysaccharide and structural support creating polysaccharide. We will first discuss about the storage polysaccharide, in which we have example of very famous starch molecule and glycogen molecule. And in structural supporting molecule there are many examples. For example, we have cellulose, we have chitin, and we have peptidoglycan. We will discuss all these with respect to the type of bond in which is going to form there. So it will help you to remember all this concept. First we will start with the storage responsible polysaccharide. Those polysaccharide who are involved in storage function. The first molecule is a starch molecule. The starch molecule is very famous because this starch is generally stored in the plant as their food material in starch granule. By photosynthesis plant produces glucose, but this glucose do not remain as a separate because the separate glucose molecule are going to affect upon the osmolarity of the cell. So for taking care of that, plant joins all these glucose molecules and they create starch. But it is not so simple to say here, because these starch molecules are again of two different types. Because remember, starch consists only one type of monomers. So the starch are homopolysaccharide, you have to mention here. Starch are homopolysaccharide, but previously we have said that homopolysaccharide can be branched and can be unbranched. Likewise, if starch molecule are unbranched, they have no any branching there, then they are known as amylose. Please listen carefully. If starch molecule are unbranched, they are known as amylose. But if starch molecule are branched, they are known as amylopectin. Then which types of bonds are present in branched starch polysaccharide? If it is unbranched, it will only consist alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage here. Please listen carefully. In unbranched starch molecule, we call it as a amylose, is always consisting only one type of bond, which is alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. But if starch molecule is branched, then it is consisting alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, as well as it will have additional linkage, which is alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkage. The image is very beautiful, which is representing you at which point alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkage is happening. Generally, on an average, from 20 to 25th position of glucose, there will be a branching on that starch molecule. Branching may be consisting 15 glucose molecule. The starch molecule is homopolysaccharide. It may be branched, unbranched. Branched polysaccharide is known starch case known as amylose, and unbranched known as amylose, and branched starch molecule known as amylose pectin. So here we have discussed about the starch molecule, in which we have alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6 type of glycosidic linkage. Then we have the glycogen molecule, which is used by the animal in their liver or in their muscle as storage polysaccharide. This glycogen also shows the amylopectin like structure. These glycogen molecules are always branched in structure. So definitely they will have two type of linkage, such as alpha 1,4 plus alpha 1,6 type of glycosidic linkage. So it is very easy to remember. So we will discuss about the structural polysaccharide. First, we will discuss about the cellulose. In the cellulose, we have glucose molecules. Mainly, all glucose molecules are there. That's why cellulose is homopolysaccharide. And cellulose are never branched. Cellulose, there is nothing amylose or amylose pectin like structure here. These cellulose molecules are completely unbranched. They are linear fibers. Definitely, because they are going to give support. So this support consisting linear cellulose fibers. These fibers are jointed together or held to each other by the hydrogen bonding. In competitive exam, they will ask you which types of bond is present between two cellulose fiber. The answer will be the hydrogen bonding is present between two cellulose fiber. But cellulose fiber consisting all glucose molecule, and the bond between these glucose monomers is beta 1,4 type of linkage. There is nothing beta 1,6 type of linkage will be here. Only beta 1,4 type of linkage will be present in this cellulose type of molecule. This cellulose type of molecule occur in algae or in plants as structural support in cell wall or in their xylem. But the another molecule is here I have highlighted is a chitin. This chitin molecule is also homopolysaccharide, but this chitin do not contain normal sugar molecule. What does it mean? Normal sugar consisting this type of structure where we have plain sugar molecule, which is glucose. But if you add amino group in that glucose, then we can say we have modified that glucose. This type of modified glucose is known as amino sugar or amino glucose. Instead of saying amino glucose, they call it as glucosamine. So words are different, meaning is same. So we will have glucosamine, N-acetyl glucosamine, NAG. So NAG type of monomer unit is used. There is nothing much difficult to remember here. If you add amino group into the glucose, it is known as amino glucose. Instead of saying amino glucose, they say it as glucosamine. So that is NAG like structure is the monomer of chitin molecule. This chitin, where it occurs? This occurs in the cell wall of fungi as well as in insects exoskeleton, which is very tough, is made up of this chitin material. So this chitin consists bond which is known as beta 1,4 linkage, but this linkage is present between two NAG units. So we will have many NAG units means NAG, we can say it as N-acetyl glucosamine. One N-acetyl glucosamine, another N-acetyl glucosamine, third N-acetyl glucosamine. There are many N-acetyl glucosamine. All are homopolysaccharide we have discussed here. The next example is we have the peptidoglycan. This is the last example of our polysaccharide case. But remember, this peptidoglycan is present in cell wall of the bacteria. And most importantly, this polysaccharide, which is peptidoglycan we are talking here, is heteropolysaccharide. Means what? This peptidoglycan consists two different types of monomers, two different types of monosaccharide. Which are two different types of monosaccharide? They consist NAG, means N-acetyl glucosamine, and they have N-acetyl muramic acid, NAG and NAM. NAG-NAM. Repeated units are present in case of the structural supporting bacterial cell wall peptidoglycan. That's why it is known as a heteropolysaccharide. In which type of bond we will have? Definitely they will consist beta 1,4 type of linkage. One important highlighting point I would like to add here is that this N-acetyl muramic acid is heteropolysaccharide. We are talking here about peptidoglycan, where NAG and NAM are two different types of monomers are used. We have said about NAG, that is N-acetyl glucosamine. The structure which is showing that at carbon number second, in case of NAG, we have amino group added. But in case of NAM, N-acetyl muramic acid, if you see carefully at carbon number 3, they will show the addition of amino acid like group. So peptide chain is present at carbon number 3, which is additionally providing support. So to where it provides support to the bacterial cell wall. That's why bacterial cell wall is very difficult to break down. So we have discussed here about the ongoing discussion. In this case, we have discussed about the disaccharide and polysaccharide with the linkage point of view. So with this, I would declare that we have completed the carbohydrate portion which is necessary in CSIR NET set exam point of view. So I think you must have understood something out of this lecture. So feel free to click on the like button and please comment on below the video, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. It motivates us. Thank you for your time. We will meet with the new concept. Thank you.